So, it's February 2026, and picture this. You're living in Utrecht, or maybe Zealand. You finally decide to install that heavy-duty EV charger or a heat pump, and you call up the grid operator for an upgrade, and they don't say, maybe later. They just say no.
Right. I mean, it's what the Dutch are currently calling afneem congestie, or demand congestion. The physical cables in the ground are just completely maxed out. So today we're digging into the hardware solution to that deadlock.
Exactly. We've got the technical schematics, the new Energy Act regulations, and the pricing algorithms. We are doing a deep dive into the Victron MultiPlus-II.
And looking at those specs, this thing is it's kind of a total anomaly. In a world of microchips and featherweight tech, this box is massive.
It really feels old school. Why is this considered the best-in-class engineering solution for 2026?
It comes down to a fundamental engineering philosophy, really. Iron versus silicon. If you look at a Tesla Powerwall or a Huawei inverter, they use high-frequency or HF technology.
Fast-switching semiconductors, right?
Exactly. It makes them light, cheap to ship, and very sleek.
But the Victron puts on weight. I saw the data sheet, and a 5,000 VA unit is roughly 32 kilograms. The competition is half that.
Because inside that blue box is a massive iron core toroidal transformer. It operates at 50 hertz, which is the exact heartbeat of the grid.
So it's kind of like an electromagnetic buffer.
Yes. Think of that iron mass like a heavy flywheel or a shock absorber on a car. It provides physical inertia that silicon chips just can't simulate.
So what does that 32 kilograms of iron actually do for you as a homeowner? Why do you want that heavy thing hanging on your wall?
It survives the surge. When a heat pump compressor kicks in, or you fire up a table saw, there is a massive split-second spike in current.
Right, and the lightweight high-frequency units usually trip if that spike hits maybe 1.2 times their rating. They see it as an error and shut down to protect their delicate electronics.
Exactly, they just give up. But the iron core absorbs it. A 5,000 VA Victron can handle a 9,000-watt surge. That is nearly double its continuous rating.
It doesn't trip, it just leans into the weight of that iron and keeps running.
Okay, so it's robust. But let's go back to our guy in Utrecht with the grid restriction. If the operator refuses to upgrade his connection, how does a heavy transformer solve that?
That brings us to the power assist feature. And this is critical for the current Dutch market.
Right, because the Victron sits between the grid and your house. If you turn on the oven, the induction hob, and the car charger, you would normally blow the main fuse.
Because the grid connection is too small.
Exactly. But the Victron detects that limit. Before the fuse blows, it instantly draws power from the battery and synchronizes it with the grid feed.
It artificially boosts your capacity. To your appliances, it looks like you have a massive industrial connection, even though you are on a standard residential line.
That actually ties into the legislative changes we are seeing, doesn't it? The Energy Act of 2026.
It does. The new act replaces the 1998 laws. It effectively changes your legal status from a passive consumer to an active customer.
It opens the door for energy hubs, where neighbors can legally share connection points. This hardware is the physical gateway to doing that.
But we have to talk about the economics. The Solderingsregeling, or net metering, is phasing out late this year. The meter doesn't spin backward anymore.
So how does this system justify its cost? The value has moved to the volatility of the 15-minute dynamic energy market?
But here's the catch. Batteries wear out. You don't want to trade energy for a penny of profit if it costs you 2 pennies of battery life.
This was the dynamic ESS feature in the notes. It seemed like a safeguard.
It is profit protection via math. The system calculates a battery cycle cost. Let's say, based on your hardware cost, every kilowatt hour of wear costs you 6.7 cents.
The algorithm will strictly prevent the system from trading unless the price spread on the market exceeds that wear and tear cost.
So it stops you from losing money just to move electrons around. Now, you looking at this might still ask, why not just buy the Tesla?
Right, it's integrated, it looks better on the wall, and the app is great.
The Tesla is a fantastic product, but it's a walled garden. It is high frequency, so you lose that surge capability we discussed.
But the bigger issue in Europe is three-phase power. Configuring all-in-one systems for specific three-phase backups is difficult.
Plus, the Victron is modular. That is the right to repair advantage.
If one component fails in an all-in-one unit, often the whole unit is trash. With Victron, if a board blows, you swap the board.
If you want to switch from lead acid to lithium to nickel iron batteries in 5 years, you can. It's agnostic.
It sounds like you're buying a workshop tool rather than a consumer appliance.
Precisely. It wins on electromagnetic durability and repairability. It is built for a 20-year horizon, not a 5-year tech cycle.
It is a compelling argument for heavy metal.
Here's a thought to leave you with. We keep building massive peaker plants to handle spikes in demand. But if 20% of households installed these decentralized hubs, could we stop building those plants entirely?
Ask yourself, is your home just a shelter, or is it ready to be a power plant? Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.